This is probably what your iPhone videos look like, and this is what they could look like if you follow all of the steps that we're gonna lay out in this video. Starting a successful YouTube channel with just a smartphone, well, this is actually a thing in 2024. You know the channel from MKBHD, Autofocus? It has over 1 million subscribers. Have you heard of Spawn Point? He currently sits at 850,000 subscribers, and all of their videos are just shot on smartphones, and they look freaking damn good. So what are they doing differently than you? Let's find out. And by the way, 99% of all of the shots that you see in this video were also captured with an iPhone, and even the audio that you can hear right now is recorded into my iPhone, but more about that at the end of this video. My name is Julian from smartphonefilmmakingpro.com, and welcome to this video. Alright, so let's kick things off with using the best settings and the video apps that I'm using to capture videos as you're seeing them right now. And just a heads up, it's not as fancy and not as crazy as you probably think it's gonna be. When it comes to the apps, currently what I'm using right now, this is just a native camera app, just shooting in 4K 24 frames per second. I'm gonna show you the in-depth settings in just a second, but that's basically it. No fancy app, nothing at all, just using a microphone, but we're also gonna talk about the gear in just a second. If you want to have even more control over your settings, I'm gonna be using the Final Cut Camera app, the Blackmagic Video app, or something like Filmic Pro. The first two apps that I mentioned, those are completely for free, and these basically have more or less the same features as Filmic Pro has. When it comes to the editing, I'm always recommending the app CapCut. It's a free app. If you want to have all of the features, it is gonna be paid, but it's, you know, the free version for the most basic stuff and for most YouTube videos is gonna be absolutely fine. And by the way, in case you want to learn CapCut and filmmaking as a whole, you can check out the first link down below. But now let's go in depth into all of the settings that I'm using to capture videos like the one that you can see right now. So let's dial in all of the settings that you need to have. Shoot in 4K whenever possible. It just creates a better image compared to 1080p. Open the camera app and at the top right press HD, and voila, you have switched over to 4K. Next to that you can see 30, and this is actually the frame rate, and this means how many individual images are captured every second. For the most cinematic results, switch that over to 24 frames per second. Just tap on it twice. And that is actually it when it comes to the settings inside of the camera app, but we'll get back to that in just a second. For now, let's open up the settings app on our iPhones and search for camera. Go to record video, select 4K 24 if it's not already there, and then scroll down and turn off the HDR. It might be counterintuitive and you might think you need that, but trust me, you're gonna get better results without the HDR. After that, go to formats and pick most compatible, and this again just makes your life so much easier when editing and when sharing your videos to YouTube. And that's basically it when it comes to the settings. Inside of the camera app, there is one more thing that you absolutely need to do to get the best results possible, and that is to long press on the screen to lock the focus and the exposure, and iPhones most of the times tend to overexpose just a little bit. Just drag down the slider ever so slightly, and in 9 out of 10 scenarios, you'll just get a so much better looking image. So what kind of iPhone do you need to have to get your YouTube career started and to get your first 10,000 subscribers? And your initial thoughts probably are, you need to have the latest and greatest, the iPhone 15 Pro, 16 Pro, whatever it is that is currently the newest model when you're watching this video. And to be honest, this could not be further from the truth. If you're starting out with your YouTube channel, it is absolutely important that you get comfortable in front of the camera, that you have interesting topics, and all of these things are way more important than having the latest and greatest smartphone. To be honest, if you have something like an iPhone 11 or newer, you're good to go and you're good to get started. And there are other ways to invest your money to make your videos look better. For example, lighting or audio, but we're gonna talk about that very soon. So if you're just getting started and you have something like an iPhone 11, 12, 13, 14, something like this, then absolutely there is no need to upgrade for you right now. Focus on getting comfortable in front of the camera, and we can upgrade your camera further down the road. All right, so what kind of lenses should you be using for your videos to get the best results? If you're using a newer iPhone, you have 3 lenses, especially if you're using a Pro model. You have an ultra wide angle lens, you have a 1x lens and a 3x lens. And if you have the Pro Max, then you have a 5x lens. So generally speaking, you're always gonna get the best results if you're using the 1x lens, period. Like that has the widest open aperture, so the most light can hit the sensor. You're gonna get the cleanest and just overall the most crispy image. However, not for any scenario that lens is gonna cut it and is not gonna be the best option for you. The ultra wide angle lens is not very well in case you're shooting in lower light situations, as the aperture is not as wide open, but it is very good in case you're vlogging, for example, as you have seen throughout this video, or as you will see throughout this video. And it is also really nice in case you're using a 3-axis gimbal and you just want to establish a location. So for that kind of scenario, I love to use the ultra wide angle lens. As I've said before, the 1x lens is gonna be the best one in case you're shooting some A-roll shots like I'm doing right now. And the 3x or the 5x lens is gonna be really cool in case you would like to get some cutaway shots, in case you would like to get some detail shots, and in case you want to compress the background a bit more. So my recommendation for you is gonna be use all of the lenses that you have and just mix it up as much as somehow possible. That's gonna get you the most interesting images, the most interesting videos, and you're gonna get a lot more retention time, as it's not gonna be the same all of the time for your viewers. One thing I almost forgot to mention, like now we have covered the 3 lenses that you have on the back of your phone, but you might be thinking like, hey Julian, yeah, that's super nice and I know the back camera is better, but with the front camera I can just see myself and that's just a lot easier. And I absolutely understand that, and obviously shooting with the front camera is a lot easier, but the quality increases, improvements that you're getting with the back camera is absolutely well worth it. The way how I'm doing it in the studio right here, I basically just set up my MacBook right here. I've connected that via screen mirroring, and that's how I get to see my image right here, so that I can see my framing is right and everything is looking good. Maybe it's a tad too bright, but it should be good. To be honest, the easiest thing that I can always recommend is just make a quick test take, see if everything is fine. That's also how I'm doing it for this entire video. When I'm shooting outside, I'm just taking a quick test take, see if the audio is working, see if the framing is nice. Once I'm happy with that, I'm ready to move on. So most YouTube videos are gonna have some kind of a talking headshot like you can see it right now. And also that, like when it comes to setting up a shot like this, many people are just overthinking that, thinking they have to have all of the lighting equipment and having a blurry background and you know, all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, when it comes to this shot that you can see right now, it's captured on the iPhone 15 Pro. I'm just using the regular camera app and that's basically it. I'm not using any cinematic mode, although we're gonna test this out in just a second. But generally speaking, for the most part, you don't really need that. And one thing that is absolutely crucial when it comes to setting up a professional looking shot like the one that you can see right now, and that is having a nice, bright and soft lighting source to light up your face. And the one that I'm using right now, this is by far the absolute best light that you can ever find outdoors. It's better than the most expensive light that you can purchase. And what it is just a window, and it is basically just bringing in some indirect light onto my face. It is currently a bit of a cloudy day and the sun is back there basically. So it's just indirectly lighting up my face, and this leads to this very soft light on my face, which more or less looks very flattering. And also because the back, you know, behind me is pretty dark and I'm very bright, this also creates this natural separation from the foreground, which is myself, to the background. Other than that, I'm just using a basic tripod, the iPhone 15 Pro, a lavalier microphone, and that is basically it. When it comes to the framing for these shots, like I'm trying to set it up so that I'm in the center of the shot. Like you could also be doing some interview style. For most YouTube videos, to be honest, I just prefer having something like this. And that's gonna be the easiest way, that's gonna be the best way to get started, because basically all you need, you know, you don't even need anything at all, to be honest, just your smartphone. That's more or less everything that you need. If you want to step it up a notch, having a tripod, having some good audio quality is definitely gonna go a very long way. And using it like this is just a lot easier compared to using these big lights behind me. In case you want to learn how that works, definitely make sure to subscribe. We're gonna cover that in some future videos for sure. One thing that is also gonna be crucial to keep the retention of your viewers high is to add B-roll shots to your videos. What you have been seeing throughout this video mostly has been A-roll shots, so me talking, but I'm also always and constantly adding B-roll shots, and these are these cutaway shots, or for example, if I'm talking about using a 3-axis gimbal so that you guys can actually see a 3-axis gimbal. So after I have recorded my A-roll shot, I'm just gonna capture, you know, a couple of B-roll shots where I'm actually showing the thing that I'm talking about. And this makes the video just a lot more interesting, a lot more is happening, and in the end, most of the time, this leads to a higher retention rate and, you know, having a longer average view time and getting more views as a result. So I'm definitely not a pro when it comes to vlogging, but what I can recommend is just get a ton of different shots, get creative, you know, also bring the camera down a little bit, take it with you on the go if you're moving around. just grab it and move around and show the people where you're going around, and try to make it interesting, play around, also see if that style fits your videos. I have not vlogged a lot in the past ever, to be honest, and I just don't feel like super comfortable doing that, but I can feel or I can see why so many people like it. So if you're starting out with your career on YouTube, just try it out, see what you like and what feels good to you, and then you will notice pretty quickly, like, is that something that you're into or not. But generally speaking, when it comes to using your smartphone for vlogging, I think it's probably the best device to use for these kinds of shots, because you're gonna have it with you anyways, so why not use it to capture a bunch of very nice shots. And now let's finally talk about the gear. I know this is what all of you guys have been waiting for and love so much. Gimbals, add-on lenses, rigs, filters, and all that stuff. So let's talk about it. The most important thing is gonna be the audio, and this is the first thing that I would invest my money into. For this video, I'm mostly using the Hollyland Lark M2, which is super tiny and just sounds awesome. Full review about that is coming very soon, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. And just as a bit of a comparison, this is what the audio sounds like with the internal microphone of the iPhone 15 Pro. And this is what the audio sounds like with the Hollyland Lark M2. As you can hear, it's just a lot more focused on my voice. It's clearly a lot closer at the source of the audio. So yeah, it's just a night and day comparison. And if you can, invest into a proper microphone. Audio makes or breaks a video, and it is a lot more important than having the newest phone, add-on lenses, and all that stuff. Secondly, I would invest into a 3-axis gimbal. And when it comes to choosing the right one, to be honest, you really can't go wrong with the newer models. I love to use the ones from Hohem, like the iSteady M6 or the iSteady V3. I have full reviews about both of them on the channel. And if you have some clear sounding videos and some steady videos, there is actually nothing holding you back from reaching 100,000 subscribers. If you're shooting in a studio environment, getting lights is gonna go a very long way. I have been recommending these cheap Amazon softboxes basically forever, and they are still absolutely amazing when it comes to bang for buck. If you can, however, I would invest a little more into something like the Godox SL60 or into something like the Aperture Amaran 60X. They are super small, super lightweight, and the light output is super high quality and basically can light up an entire room. I absolutely love them. I'm using them for my professional videos as well as for my YouTube videos, but that's it. When it comes to gear, you don't need more, and you don't even need all of that. And the last step that is gonna be absolutely crucial for you to be crushing it on YouTube is having a good and captivating final edited video. Basically, it would just be way too long to cover all of that in this video. The app that I'm recommending if you are just starting out is called CapCut. It is a free app. You can use that on your Mac computer or also on your iPhone directly, and also on Windows computers and Android phones. So it basically works everywhere. And generally speaking, like, try to cut out all of the fluffs, cut out all of your mistakes that you're making, unless it's funny. Also make sure that you're cutting out all of the pauses. Make sure that you're adding in some zoom ins and just adding the B-rolls that you have captured along the way. So just making it interesting for the viewer. In case you would like to learn more about filming your videos, editing your videos, growing on YouTube, growing on social media, all that kind of stuff, make sure to check out the very first link below that like button. Smartphone Filmmaking Pro is by far the most in-depth online course when it comes to learning, capturing amazing videos using your smartphone. And by the way, in case you have been wondering, yes, this shot is also shot on the iPhone 15 Pro, and the audio from this microphone right here, this is also coming directly into the iPhone. There's no external recording. And the way on how I'm doing this is super simple. I'm basically just plugging in my iPhone directly into my Rodecaster Duo, and this is connected to this Shure SM7B. This is how I have been capturing all of the high quality audio throughout this video. I will very soon be making an in-depth video showing you 5 different ways on how you can capture amazing audio with your iPhone. So in case you're interested, make sure to check it out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and check out this video over there in case you want to learn how to shoot amazing videos with your Android phone.